and the OKN Junior Final gets underway. Let's take you through the starting lineup. Conor Clancy from James Ignatiadis on row number 1. Caden Higgins and Toby Gale on row 2. Marcus Shilkunas and Luna Flusha, they round out row number 3 from Zainab Hobasani and Arthur Dodonka on row 4. Nikita Gedesmits and Sarah Matsui on row 5. They round out the top 10. Mumia Tara Nadali and Augusta Soniolo, they round out row number 6 with Angelina Simons-Torres and Dan Dalakian on row 7. Dinar Islamov and Max Murray on row number 8. Jeremy Montgomery-Swan and Katrina E on row 9. Alexander Dahlstrom and Sakura Dole on row 10. They round out the top 20 from Rapil Paradin and Ella Hakkinen on row 11. Egon Pedrotti and Karine Kaur, they round out the 24-kart grid. And final race of the day. Like I was saying, tyres have been used and abused. You can see the marbles lining the edge of the circuit there that have all been degraded from their wheels. These are down to their last legs now for our drivers. Right now, it all feels down to these last 21 laps on this day. Who's going to come away with the maximum points at the end of this one? It's a long old race that they've got ahead of them. Plenty could happen. As you can see, the sun is fading here. Local time, we are 5:05 in the afternoon in Abu Dhabi. From wherever you're watching from around the world, hopefully you are having a good time and you are enjoying the content that you are seeing here on the Champions Karting YouTube and motorsport.tv, as well as Facebook and all sorts of social platforms as well. Make sure you do follow the Champions Karting Academy on all of the socials to stay up to date with all the results and content, of course, from our drivers this weekend. Here we go then. In towards turn number 16 they go. Past the red line. No overtaking from this point now. They have to be in formation. Looks like they are. There's one driver just at the back of the grid there. Unfortunately, that's not had a good getaway, but the race will go on. Eager to get going there at the front. Are they going round? No, they are going. It's green flag and away they go racing, and it's a great start from Clancy. Gets a good jump on the rest of the field, but James Ignatiadis is right there behind in third place. Looked like Caden Higgins was going to go for the move there down in towards turn number 3. Unable to get it done. He stays there in well, actually, no, it's not even him. That's Toby Gale who's got up into third place. That's a brilliant start. James Ignatiadis, I don't know where he's, he's second place. Yeah, he's absolutely fine. And that's gone wrong here. That's the 119. That's gone wrong at all. And that's Max Murray. Max Murray out of this race, and who's he with? It's the 121, and that is Katrina E. They were 16th and 18th. They were line astern at the start of this race, and that's not gone well at all for them. So a big shame for them. And yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, Max Murray's tried to get that restarted, and unfortunately, it's not gone. So that's 2 drivers potentially out of this race now, which is a big shame on the opening lap. Race continues though, and Conor Clancy leads the way from Toby Gale, James Ignatiadis from Luna Flusha, Arthur Dodonka from Caden Higgins, Marcus Shilkunas there in 7th place from Sarah Matsui from Zainal Homasani in the top 9. Dan Dalakian rounds out the top 10. There you can see them making their way through. Just saw the 123 go through. That's Angelina Simons-Torres, and it looked like a change there in the background. No, I don't think so. Well, actually, Luna Flusha, yes, indeed, is actually up at P3, and yeah, that's the driver's comments earlier on, looking to the safety of the Marshall Hut. So Max Murray and Katrina E both out of the race. Big shame in the first opening lap of this final. Back at the front, though, as we come to an end of lap number 2, we'll go on to lap 3. It's still Clancy who leads the way from Gale, and Luna Flusha up into third place. This is a good opening couple of laps now from Luna Flusha, who is pushing hard here. See what they can do with the remaining laps. Plenty of laps to go. It's the opening stages of this race, and again, it's all about just now finding your feet, controlling the pace here, and making no mistakes. And we are starting to see some overtakes here. I think that was Caden Higgins down the inside of James Ignatiadis. And yeah, again, they're just all trying to attack here now. And who is that that's coming through? I think that's Arthur Dodonka. Arthur Dodonka trying to make moves here now and is right on that rear bumper. Has just dropped behind actually now as well. So Luna Flusha still in third place. Here's a look at the replay start. Very spread out open, but green flag does go out. And it was a great start from Conor Clancy, wasting no time at all. Great start from that inside row as well. Everyone getting very well. Some drivers just struggling just that little bit. And of course, this incident here with Max Murray and Katrina E. Unfortunately, both out of the race. Big shame for them. There's been another bit of contestant as well out on the circuit. Looks like Maria Chalandelli and Nikita Gerasmits have had a come together. Both of them have dropped down the order a little bit, so they're battling away. Action at the front now. It is all kicking off, in fact, actually. So Conor Clancy's leading the way. Toby Gale's still there in second place from James Nosialis. Now Luna Flusha has dropped down a little bit here because it looks like Arthur Dodonka has gone through, and it looks like now that she is under pressure from Caden Higgins. So Caden Higgins getting back into the fight now, and in fact he's actually managed to get past as well. So Higgins is back up now into P5. So they're all still scrapping away. Now this is interesting here at the front. Clancy has not broken away here. Gale has closed in. He's latched onto that rear bumper now of Conor Clancy after, of course, sacrificing nearly all of his pole position starts to Clancy. I suspect that Toby Gale wants some redemption here, and getting a win in the final will certainly be a good redemption on that one, and he sets the fastest lap of the race as well, meaning he gets an extra championship point to his name at the end of this one. So again, if he can keep that momentum up, he'll be all good. There is Arthur Dodonka though in fourth place. He's closing in on James Ignatiadis, I've got to say, at quite a rate here. Arthur Dodonka right on that rear bumper now as they go through the back section here, through the left and rights. In towards 16 and 17 they go. No change at the front for Clancy and Gale. Line astern. Clancy really pushing down there as hard as he can. Egging himself along, trying to gain as much as he can. Gap still 0.2 of a second. And Maria Nadelli again dropping down more positions there. She's lost 4 places on that last lap. She's dropped down to P19. It's not gone well there. She brings it back. Still positions changing all the way throughout this field. Salah Matsui's got past Zainal Hobasani as well, so that's 8th and 9th place. That battle has raged on. In P6 now, wanting to close in. So no change at the front. Toby Gale not able to really get the legs here on Conor Clancy. He's just stayed there behind. Not pushed too hard. The battle for third again, still the same sort of territory here. I think they're just trying to work together to see if they can close the gap. What is their gap? It's 1.3 seconds last time, 1.4, so they're not actually gaining on the race leaders ahead. They are just slowly falling back here now is James Ignatiadis and Arthur Dodonka. So Dodonka may be thinking here, I want to try and get past and see if I can try and catch up to this one. Their gap to the leader now 1.6 seconds, and again, it's looking very close here between the two of them. And towards the turn 8 hairpin as well. They have to be careful. Any move that he makes, and they will have the likes of Caden Higgins and Luna Flusha right on their case as well. So it's a fine line here. He really needs to wait for James Ignatiadis to see if he makes a mistake. He's been very quick throughout this one. Won his third qualifying heat of the day. James knows what he needs to do here. Dodonka just pushing him along now. What's the gap between Higgins and Dodonka? It was about 0.4 of a second. I think it's gone down, and that's not gone well at all. The 163, that is Maria Chalandelli, who is off the track. And Nadelli is out of this race. And that is a big shame. She had a good starting position in this one. She gained so many positions earlier on. She started 11th. And unfortunately, she would just tumble down the order, and now she sees herself out and in the barriers. A big, big shame for Maria Danelli. And yeah, that's just not gone her way. James Ignatiadis, though, is still under pressure here. And I've got to say, the drivers behind, Hayden Higgins is closing in. Another driver in trouble here and in the pit lane. This is the 164 of Alexander Dahlstrom. And again, a DNF, not what he needs, and a shake of the head just saying, nope, something not right. And unfortunately, for Dahlstrom, that is the final over and no points going his way. Remember, the top 15 get away with championship points in here, and we're down to 20 runners here. Only 5 drivers in this race would not receive championship points, as Luna Flusha now sets the fastest lap of the race. That will certainly help her out with the extra championship point. So the fight for the fastest lap is still on. One of these drivers could take it. It's all just about getting everything right. Because remember, tyres are run down to their limit right now. It's hard to get a lap together with the back end sliding all the time. Still looking strong. Dodonka all over this rear bumper. We're going to see a move soon, I think. James Osiadis just not able to match the pace here of Toby Gale, but Gale is dropping back off Clancy. That gap's open up to 0.7 of a second, so the battle for second might still be on here for James Osiadis. He's there in second place. He's there in third place, sorry, started second place. He's had a good run all the way throughout this, but he's got to dig deep in these last few races, and there he is, digging deep. Fastest lap of the race. Now takes that championship point away from Luna Flusha, who set the lap on the last lap. So again, it's just up and down between all of these drivers, just finding the right pace. And Arthur Dodonka, who just sits there, who started this one P8, is now P4, right behind him, is looking the strongest here, but just trying to find that gap to get through, and that may come sooner than he thinks, with Toby Gale falling into the clutches of these two behind. And Connor Clancy right now controlling this race. It's over a second now, the gap. And Connor Clancy just doing what he needs to do. Toby Gale still there in second place, but is slowly falling back into these clutches of James Ignatiasis and Arthur Dodonka. Dodonka as well, just primed and ready for an opportunity. And Caden Higgins has dropped Luna Flusha and has latched onto the back here now as well. Luna kind of all on her own there. Not close to anyone in front or behind, wide there for Ignatiadis. Still no lunge here, still no move, staying behind, but we are seeing different racing lines here. You can expect something very, very soon, as you can see how quickly they're closing in on Toby Gale. Gale's going to have a major fight on his hands here. He will want to stay on the podium. The win's not looking likely right now. The gap still opens up 1.2 seconds between the two of them, first and second. Toby Gale now just needs to push hard, as Caden Higgins now sets the fastest lap of the race. Now he gets the championship point. And he is now closing in on these drivers in front. Dodonka, Ignatiadis is right there. It's one train now between the two of them. Luna Flusha is still there. She's ready to pick up any pieces that may come her way. But we're just waiting now. Who's going to be the first to jump? Will it be Ignatiadis? Will it be Dodonka? Will it be Higgins? Or will it be Gale? Will he defend first before anyone even decides to attack? Checks over the shoulder. Slipstream kicks in, nothing changes here. They stay behind. Very close battle all the way throughout. They've had a challenging day, all of them. But for Arthur Dodonka, who started this one P8, he has put so hard. So has Toby Gale. It's not been the result he wanted. You know, pole in qualifying, that went well. The races haven't gone his way. He had 2 second places and a 9th. Started this one P4. Currently in P2. But how much longer is into turn 10? Looking to the inside there. We have not seen a move through turn 10, and now we do. James Ignatiadis and both Arthur Dodonka get through, and so does Caden Higgins. All three of them get past Toby Gale through turn 10 alone. It just looked like Gale left the door open and everyone just side their way through turn 10. So we've not seen any overtakes there, and then all of a sudden we see 3 into 1. And amazing stuff there, and that releases Ignatiadis and Dodonka and Higgins now. And will they be able to close the 1.7 second gap to Connor Clancy? We'll have to see what the pace is like on the last lap. Clancy did a 55.512. Ignatiadis was a 55.6. is the move on your screen, just down the inside. The gap was open, the gap was there. Sent it down the inside, just keeping it within track limits, and yeah, through they go. And then there was Caden Higgins down the inside of 12. So all of them taking full advantage of that one. And Toby Gale now under pressure from Luna Flusha just behind as well. So Flusha might be able to get up back into the top 5 here. And maybe back onto these trio ahead. Right now it all stays nice and calm now. Are we going to see these drivers push? And you know what we were saying about can they close the gap? It was 1.7 between James Inosiadis and Conor Clancy. It's now 1.6. So the possibility of them closing in is quite high here, actually. And visibly, the gap looks smaller. So I reckon we could see something here. Clancy, who's just been controlling his race. He's not had to worry about anything now. He's just focusing on bringing that kart to the end, but how are his tyres? That's the main thing. Is he running on empty on those tyres? Or are they fine? Are they all fine for the drivers? Have they looked after them well across this weekend? A lot of marbles out on that track, which suggests the opposite. He's running on the Vega option tyre. Relatively soft compound as well, so it can degrade quite quickly. As Higgins has now passed Dodonka actually now, so Dodonka's down into 4th place. So now a change there, so that releases James Inosiadis just a little bit. The gap's come down a little bit more now. It's come down to 1.5 between themselves and Conor Clancy. So the gap getting ever smaller between these two. There for Dodonka. He's really pushing hard there. All of them as well pushing hard. Luna Flusha not able to get past Toby Gale. He stayed there just for the time being, allowing Marcos Yilkunas, who's there in 7th place. We've not spoken much about him in this final. He's always been in and around there in that top section of this race. This is the replay of potentially how that overtake can happen. And again, through turn 12. Prime place for these overtakes. And Caden Higgins, yep, gets it done. And with that, it did release Inosiadis just that little bit, but it looks like they have closed back in now. There is Shilkunas coming through the shot as well. Got Zainal Hermasani just behind. It's still very close, all within the top section. No other retirements for the time being. Green Core still running around, currently in 20th place, 4 places gained. Biggest mover out there as well. Got to give that to Egon Pedrotti as well, the Italian driver in the 117, who's gained 7 positions in this final. He's up into P16 as well. He's having a close battle with Jeremy Montgomery Swan, and he's got Zachariah Dola as well just behind. So a very close-knit group of drivers all the way throughout. Other movers as well, Angelina Simmons-Tollers and Dan Delakian, 2 Spaniards who are running just behind the Japanese driver of Sara Matsui, who's running 9th, 10th and 11th out on track. Still no change in. If anything, Toby Gale's actually closing in, and Inosiadis has lost his momentum he was gaining on Clancy. Gap's back open to 1.6 seconds now. So right now, just keep an eye on all these drivers. They're just waiting for this last lap board to come out. I think now they are just all in a position, and a twitch there from James Inosiadis, and Caden Higgins senses weakness and sends it to the inside through turn 12. You just saw there a slight adjustment of the steering through turn 10, and that just gave a green light to Caden Higgins to go full send into 12. And now it's Caden Higgins' turn to go after Conor Clancy with only a handful of laps left, and the gap's back to 1.7 seconds. It's a tall order, but anything is possible. And I'm curious if we can see that again, because it was just the slightest mistake there from James Inosiadis going through 10. It's just a small adjustment on the wheel. You saw the back stepped out and he had to correct it. And unfortunately, just that little moment there cost him that position. That just shows the limit that these drivers are on. It just shows any slight mistake can cost you so much. And luckily, only losing the 1 position there to Caden Higgins. But Artur Dodonka is ready and waiting in P4 to really close in here and see what he can do. Flusha has got past Toby Gale now on that last lap. And she is closing in now on the drivers ahead. But, well, Hayden Higgins, despite his best efforts, has taken a 10th out of Conor Clancy, but he's nowhere near close enough. Artur Dodonka, though, who's been the most impressive driver, I think, this race, really shone in this final after always being there or about. Started this one P8 and up into P4 now. A superb drive and just pushing all the way throughout. This would be, I believe, his best result as well for Dodonka at P4. And again, a big moment there down the inside through turn 12, and contact between himself and James Ignatiadis. And Ignatiadis here is struggling as he looks to the inside. Now does Dodonka. He pulls the pin and says, I've had enough, I'm going for it, but now loses it as we go on to the final lap. We're now 3 wide. This is the battle for 3rd place on the podium, and Luna Flusha goes to the inside and gets both of them into turn 1, loses it on the exit. Now Toby Gale comes back into play, and now Luna Flusha loses it after gaining 2, now loses 2 as well, and a bit of contact there, and now loses out to all 3 of them. And as Big Shaman round goes Artur Dodonka. Artur Dodonka spins and out, and he stalls, and he is out of this final on the last lap of the race after gaining 4 positions. He is out, and he is furious. He has words to say to one particular driver, and that would be Luna Flusha, who they just got locked into contact with each other out of turn 4, and he is not happy at all. But for Conor Clancy here, he's not had to worry about any of the battling that's happened behind. He has just focused on what he's needed to do up ahead. And out of the final corner, he will see the checkered flag, and he wins the first junior final this weekend. 1 more to go tomorrow. And of course, the rest of the qualifying heats. Hayden Higgins recovers back to 2nd after starting P3 in the final from James Ignatiadis, who finishes in P3. Toby Gale recovers back to P4 from Luna Flusha. And Sara Matsui, who finishes in P6. A superb result there as well for Marcus Shilkunis, who finishes in P7. From Zainal Homasani, Angelina Simmons-Torres, and Dan Dalakian rounding out the top 10. But something tells me that junior final is not over yet. Words will be had, as Artur Dodonka, who had a superb race all the way throughout that one, did well. But this man here on your screen, Conor Clancy, what a day. He didn't put it on pole position. He qualified 3rd in Q1, but 2 qualifying heat wins, a P4, and now a win in the final. An excellent way to start your weekend, Conor. And I'm curious to see what you can do tomorrow. A good night's sleep ahead of you, and the rest of the field as well. He takes maximum championship points. Fastest lap, though, would go to Hayden Higgins, so he gets the 2nd place championship points and the extra point for the fastest lap. There's a look then at the provisional classifications. Provisional with a capital P, I think, at the end of that one. Augustus Toniolo then finishes in 11th place. From Dinir Islamov in 12th place. Nikita Gerasmets finishes in P13. Jeremy Montgomery-Swan and Egon Pradotti, a brilliant drive there, finishing in P15. Superb driving all the way throughout. And as these drivers get going, there is some superb racing ahead of us.